The Buffs, if they do get in a shootout, can't rely on CU forward number 15, Julie Seabrook.
Tomlinson, bounce pass, right side, Booker fakes, blows by the defender, scoops his way up the... Left side fakes, drives, shovels it back up top. Booker open for three, fires and knocks another one down.
Scouts are worried about his frame. He's 6'2", 211 pounds. Now, they think that he's tall and lanky, that he's going to have trouble in the NFL.
We are not good enough to play with penalties. We are not good enough to not play as a team.
Thanks, guys. Coming off a tough loss against Washington, 75-67, the girls came back to beat Washington State 57-56 in the final seconds and are back at home now to take on a tough Cal team. Don't let the record fool you. They may be 11-5 on the season, but 3 of their 5 losses came against ranked opponents by a combined 6 points. Colorado's D, which is ranked 29th in the nation, is giving up just under 53 points a game, but Cal's offense is putting up just over 72 points a game. So this will be a good test for Colorado to see where they stand as they take on the number 4 Stanford Cardinal next. Wins, losses, of course they matter to head coach Sean Sullivan, but the one thing he's worried about gaining doesn't show up on the stat sheet at the end of the day, and that's respect. This wall represents more than just dates and scores. It represents monumental wins, lasting memories, and the building blocks for the program to remember what it is they're playing for. Coming into his senior year and hitting the hardwood for the first time with the Buffs, Brown looks to be a winning shot with the team and hopes to make some noise this upcoming season. At a time with the program trying to find itself, the team looked to the past to show what it meant to be a Buff with the hiring of John Embry. One tradition he brought back was the brick wall of big wins. Although not visible to the public, the knowledge of the wall spread through word of mouth like a myth. Without seeing it, it's hard to say what it represents.
It's hard to describe to someone who's just a casual fan what a lot of the bricks mean, but I think they can respect the fact that it's these are just monumental victories in CU history, and it's something that a lot of fans take pride in.
The wall started with Coach Bill McCartney in the early 80s and continued on through Coach Rick Neuheisel and Coach Gary Barnett until 2006 when Coach Dan Hawkins painted over the bricks to establish his mark on the program.
Coach Hawk probably wanted to, build his own tradition, but at the same time, those bricks, were the foundation of CU.
It was a part of history that was missing. And obviously when you've been a part of that history and you've seen that history being developed over the years, it was kind of disturbing, knowing that it wasn't there. This wall represents more than just dates and scores. It represents monumental wins, lasting memories, and the building blocks for the program to remember what it is they're playing for.
Yeah, it definitely gave you extra motivation. Coach Embry each gave us a brick this year, during the summer to show the importance of what it's like to bring the bricks back. And I think it's important for us to have that, that tradition here. And, when they unveiled that wall, it's just, you're just overwhelmed with how much pride and tradition that's here at this program.
With every big win, a new brick goes up to recognize their team accomplishment on the field. The first new brick put up is a CSU victory from this season, and the win even brought out some emotion.
Felt great. You're definitely going to be remembered for something. But for me, knowing it doesn't matter what you do in the past, it's what you do in the future. So I would like to get more bricks up. Like I said, we got 7 games left in this season, and we expect to have more bricks up there.
There are select games up on the wall that help commemorate the history of the program, but the players and coaches all have a game in mind that is also close to them.
The Nebraska game when I coached here in 01 when we won 62-36. Now that one there, that might be the most memorable one and probably the most special one in my book. 2007
when we beat Oklahoma. I think at the time they were ranked one of the top 5 schools in the nation, so that was a good win.
The CU game in 2005, when Mason saved us the 55-yard field goal. And I just remember watching Lawrence Vickers run that safety over in the end zone.
All these bricks may be a remembrance of the past, but as Brian Lockridge best puts it, it's not a matter of what you do in the past, but what you do in the future. The Buffs look to continue the tradition, to add more to the wall to help build the story of the program. They just got to ask, Who's next? Josh Rising, News Team Boulder. Following a season where the Buffs made a deep run into the NIT and posted a 20-plus win season for the first time since 2005, the team has lost a lot of firepower in the likes of Alec Burks and Corey Higgins, as the team now looks through its roster to find some scoring for the upcoming season. Enter Carlin Brown, a 6'5", 215-pound guard who transferred from the University of Utah after his junior season, where he led the Utes in points with just under 13 and tied a team best in rebounds at 4.1 per game. With the firing of the Utah head coach, Brown had his choice of schools to play ball and chose CU because of his familiarity with the coaching staff.
Had a good coaching staff, newly introduced Tad Boyle, and this coaching staff I thought really fit my needs as far as a player and how I wanted to play. And definitely have a relationship with assistant coach John Prigo from TCU.
Due to NCAA transfer rules, Brown had to sit out the 2010 season. It may have been tough for him to watch the team succeed as he was on the bench, but he was able to work on his game by learning from others.
To sit back and watch it from a different point of view, you realize how much you're missing, how important it is to you. And going up against guys like Alec and Corey really allowed my game to blossom and allowed me to work on things and improvement areas that I never did before.
Coming into his senior year and hitting the hardwood for the first time with the Buffs, Brown looks to be a winning shot with the team and hopes to make some noise this upcoming season. Head coach Tad Boyle knows that he lost plenty of offense with 3 seniors and an NBA lottery pick leaving the school. Boyle believes that Brown has what it takes to contribute on the court this upcoming season.
He's one of those few players that can make plays not only for himself, but he can make plays for his teammate. And so he brings a lot to the table with his offensive skill package. And again, I think he's got the capability of being a good defensive player as well.
Even though he was forced to sit out for the season, he was still able to practice with the team, and teammate Shannon Sharp describes Brown's game and how he fits in with the team.
Carlin, he's experienced, he's super athletic, and I feel like has a high basketball IQ too, so it's great playing with Carlin.
With the season about to begin, the team and Brown are both on a quest. With many experts picking the Buffs to finish near the bottom, the team has expectations to continue and improve as they play for the inaugural Pac-12 championship and to go dancing in March for the NCAA tournament. Josh Rising, News Team Boulder. I'm Josh Rising with your sports update. Mountain West Conference Championship on the line, BYU versus number 2, San Diego State University. The Aztecs were swept in the regular season by the Cougars. Now this is a game not only that determines the conference champion, but a critical game for NCAA tournament seeding. Going on to the tourney championship at the Thomas & Mack Center. The men's basketball team held their media day yesterday for the upcoming 2012 basketball season. Head coach Tad Boyle fielded questions about the development of guard Andre Roberson in the offseason, the depth of the team in the paint, where the scoring is going to come from, and the expectations for this upcoming season. The Buffs' biggest question coming into the season is how to replace guards Alec Burks and Corey Higgins, who accounted for about 75% of the scoring. Experts are picking the Buffs to finish 9th in the first season in the Pac-12 Conference. The season tips off November 11th against Fort Lewis College at the Coors Event Center. With one of the most difficult games approaching, the football team will be without 5 defensive players as they travel to Palo Alto to face the number 7 Stanford Cardinals. Head coach John Embry suspended 4 defensive backs and linebacker after a violation of team rules. The 5 players, Parker Orms, Deji Olatoy, Paul Vigo, Josh Moten, and Lilolo Nobriga, will be out for the remainder of the season. The head coach was unspecific about the rules that were broken, but claims that they were severe enough to warrant a year-long suspension. In his first year, Embry is holding his players to a higher standard, emphasizing the character of the players on and off the field. The Buffs' already depleted secondary will have to face Andrew Luck, who's projected to be the number 1 draft pick in the NFL draft. Lastly, in this week's Josh Rising's Rising Star, I'm going to Death Valley to talk about Clemson Tigers sophomore quarterback Taj Boyd. After playing in spot duty last season, he comes into the season as the unheralded starter to the season, and now he's making noise. This past weekend, Boyd took on the defending champs in the Auburn Tigers. Boyd led an air assault against the Tigers, passing for 386 yards and 4 TDs en route to ending the Auburn Tigers' 17-game win streak. For the year, he's passed for 911 yards, 10 TDs to 1 pick. Too bad he's playing in Clemson, because I would be saying this kid could have Heisman potential. The Long Beach State 49ers are going to the East Coast, taking on the 9th-ranked Panthers. Picking up the action late in the first half, 49er guard Casper Ware coming off the screen, puts up the shot, and he cashes in for 3. Ware again doing work as he drives through the defense for the layup and making the Panthers defense look more like kitty cats. Long Beach up 45-36 at half. Midway through the second half, James Ennis caught Lamar Patterson sleeping, comes up with a steal. Gotta get up if you want to get down with the dunk. 10-point Niner lead. Coming out the rebound, Larry Anderson brings the ball up court and gives it to none other than Casper Ware. He's calling from long distance for 3. We got connection. Ware scored a game and career high 28 points. That's all she wrote as Long Beach State upsets 9th-ranked Pitt Panthers 86-76. We continue our 11-part series profiling the opponents CU will be facing in the new Pac-12 conference. As the Buffs head to Northern California to take on Stanford, we take a look inside this prestigious school. David LaRose tells us all about the Cardinal from Palo Alto. The Aztecs received a 2 seed after their conference title. They easily topped Northern Colorado in their first game in the tournament, but San Diego State's next game wasn't quite as easy. The 7 seed Temple Owls squared up against the 2 seed San Diego State in the NCAA tournament with a Sweet 16 bid on the line. Billy White stripped the ball and Aztecs out running, and DJ Gay backed White as he threw it down for the jam. The Aztec crowd was loving this. Fast forward to the final minute regulation, Temple down 2, Lavoy Allen looking to make something happen as he hit the floater to tie the game up at 54. 4 seconds left, Chase Tapley tried to find an opening. His desperate shot was no good, and we head to overtime. In overtime, Juan Fernandez nailed the tray, Owls up 3 after this. Now Malcolm Thomas answered, worked hard in the paint, and it's good, and he draws the and-one call as well. Thomas tried to answer again in the closing seconds for the first overtime. This time, no good, and we head to a second overtime, tied at 61. Gay coming off the pick and roll here, and he misses, but White is there, and he had 13 rebounds, and the Aztecs were up 4. Later, Temple down 3, trying to make something happen. They put the ball up in the low post, and Thomas says, "Get that out of here." But the Aztec defense clamped down with less than 30 seconds left, and Kawhi Leonard with this timely steal throws it down for 2 of his 16 in the game, and it took 2 overtimes, but San Diego State held off Temple, winning 71-64, securing a bid to the Sweet 16.
I know we have a very exciting game to look forward to this weekend with Stanford. What is your expected outcome for the game?
Well, I think we're going to have a tough time this weekend going up against Stanford. This is going to be a great offense that we're going to be going up against. Andrew Luck is a great quarterback. Obviously, we've been saying that he's a projected number 1 pick in the NFL draft. He's going to be quite the sight to see on Saturday night. And that is your look at sports.
This kid's looking really good. How realistic do you think it is for him to go early in the NFL draft? How early can he go?
I think he can go kind of early. I think that he's a second-round pick. I would be very surprised if he goes past the 3rd round, to be honest, in the draft.
Oh.